way.
So if you make a circle around here, look, put me over here. This is very bright still to be in a fairy ring on Midsummer's Day. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, gather around, move all the way around a bit so everyone can fit around. Because I'm currently standing on a mushroom. Okay, I am currently standing on a mushroom. You might not be able to see it, but I am standing on a mushroom. The only problem is we can't see the fruiting bodies at the moment, but I know what this mushroom is because I picked it from this spot quite a few times. And now you always have to be careful when you're picking mushrooms because other mushrooms can grow with them, but also mushrooms don't like sharing space with other mushrooms. So quite often you can be actually quite comfortable about finding it as long as you need to identify every mushroom, but they actually will to exclusion of other mushrooms that go out. And what we have here is a mushroom in the Agaricus family, which is the same ones that you find in the shops. All the ones in the shops, your portobellos, your butter mushrooms, your chestnut mushrooms, are all exactly the same species, Agaricus bisporus. This one is Agaricus avensis. This is the horse mushroom. And there's about 36 different mushrooms in that family. They all have brown gills that start pink and go browner, and a white cap. And once you can properly identify that family, which I don't have time to do properly with you today to really teach you that, you can eat every single one of them except for two. And those two you can't eat stain yellow and have a kind of chemically smell. So they're actually quite easy to identify. So if I had one here with you, I could actually take you through how to identify them. But under here is a mushroom in a fairy ring, and you can see what it's doing is it's mycorrhizal with the grass. So that means its roots and the mycelium are kind of work together, and the mycelium are able to get things like phosphorus out of the stones that the roots can't. And in return, the plant gives it sugars. So what's happening here, and you can see there's a pattern of that's darker here, and then it's scorched almost around the outside. So the mushroom is here, feeding the plants here, stealing nutrients from the edge, which is why that one goes. But Shakespeare knew about this, and Roger's going to give you a little bit of Shakespeare.
Yeah, I had the great pleasure of being in the Tempest in the Oxford Shakespeare Festival a couple of years ago. I was playing Prospero, and there's this long speech, but I'll only do short excerpts from it, which refers to these fairy rings. And this was the notion in Elizabethan folklore that these rings around the mushroom were in fact where elves or fairies had danced a dance of invocation on Midsummer's Eve. So we thought, while I was on runs with Tristan up here, he's pointed out what a fairy ring actually was, which when I was doing the play, I was thinking I'd never seen one of these. So this is my ambition, to stand in a fairy ring reciting this bit of verse on Midsummer's Eve. And I used to know this speech off by heart because I played the role for a couple of months, but it's many SECs later, so I'm afraid I now need the script. Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and fly him when he comes back. You demi-puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the yew not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and let 'em forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I do here abjure. Thank you.